Today, the Air India AI 171, a Boeing 787 Dreamliner, has crash landed shortly after its takeoff from the Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel International Airport on its way to the Gatwick Airport in London. This disaster is considered to be one of the deadliest in Indian aviation history, and this is the first fatal crash involving the 787 Dreamliner since its commercial introduction in 2011. 242 people were on board, out of which 230 were passengers and 12 were the crew members. 169 of them were Indian nationals, 53 were British, 7 were Portuguese, and 1 Canadian. The flight was piloted by Captain Suvit, who has more than 8,000 hours of flight time, and the first officer Clive, who has more than 1,000 hours of flight time. As of now, at least 204 bodies have been recovered, mostly charred beyond identification. 41 people are injured, including the ground residents. As of now, it is reported there is only one survivor, who is Vishwas Kumar, who is a 40-year-old British Indian national. He reported hearing a huge sound after 30 seconds of takeoff, followed by the crash. He has sustained impact injuries, but was conscious and was recovered by the residents nearby. So the sequence of events was the flight took off from runway 23 at 1:30 p.m. and reached a maximum altitude of 825 feet with a speed of 174 knots, which amounts up to 332 km per hour. Moments after the takeoff, the pilots have issued a mayday call to the ATC, and after then there was no further communications. The plane lost its altitude rapidly and crashed at the dining hall in BJ Medical College, which is in Meghali Nagar. The crash also affected the nearby residential complex, which housed doctors, which has contributed to ground casualties also. Emergency services such as fire brigades, police, and an ambulance has been dispatched to the site. 6 teams of NDRF, along with them 2 teams of the BSF, have been mobilized to the site. The Indian Army, the Coast Guard, and the CRPF have also extended their help in the rescue operation. A green corridor got established to transport the injured people to the nearby hospitals. So the Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel International Airport was immediately closed after the crash, suspending all flight operations. Indigo and other airlines have reported disruptions. The black boxes are expected to provide significant insights on the cause of the crash. There is also speculations about the mechanical failure of the gearbox and the engines. The former Gujarat CM Vijay Rupani was one of the passengers, and one passenger was a newlywed who was en route to see her husband in London. So as of now, the current status is the rescue operations have got completed around evening, and the investigation is expected to start shortly with preliminary findings possibly after the availability of the black boxes. This tragedy has unified the government officials, communities to focus on supporting victims and their families to determine the cause in order to prevent future disasters as such. So let's pray that the families of the victims and the near ones and dear ones get consoled and comforted during this time of trial and tribulation.